Hey YouTube and knife fans, so I'm doing another video tonight because I've got to show something that's a little different. So as you know, or may not know, I started making knives back in 2020 because I bought a replica life support system 1 that wasn't as good as I'd first thought, and the more I had it, the worse it looked to me, so I decided I needed something better than that, and I made my own. And because I'm obsessed with that knife design, I keep making them. So I have done the video on like all the crazy shit from the 80s, survival knives, and this latest project was really inspired by what if you took these features and combined them all into one? What would you get? And the answer is, well, what I came up with is this. So let's take a look at where it draws inspiration from. Essentially, it is an LS1 knife, but instead of having the drop clip, it has a drop point. And in fact, if you look at that, I didn't intentionally copy the heart stopper, by the way. I just realised this when after I had it cut out. It's, if you can see that, and it is pretty close. So I have a little formula when I design my blades, and particularly these knives. And this one was LS1s and whatever. The last tooth, 30 degrees, all the teeth are at 30 degrees. 30 degrees down, and that's where I start the belly. So this knife's not sharp, by the way. It's just beveled, but I'll finish it tomorrow. So yeah, half the length. This is a 9-inch blade, so 4.5 inches to the last tooth, 30 degrees down, and then up there. What I've also done on this one is I've centered my tip at half the thickness of the steel, and then I just married up the curve to be as close as I could to the angle of the teeth. I think I set these teeth tops at about 7.5 degrees. So I've made this out of 5mm 440, and the reason I went with that was this guy back in 1985 or 86, Buck released the 185, which was basically a one-piece construction with a skeleton handle, same blade, no anchor pins, and it was made of 5mm or maybe 6mm tops. And so I took a lot of inspiration from that. I didn't like that knife when it came out in the 80s. In fact, I actually loathed it. I thought this was a survival knife. That wasn't. 18 months later, I'm like a completely different person. I don't buy a hollow handled knife for my first decent knife. I buy a solid handle. So I went to thinner steel. I went to 5mm just to keep the weight down, and also went for a solid full tang construction for strength. And then I started adding things to it. Now you'll notice that we have this things that draws straight off that, and there's a nice big hole there to attach a rope. Would I use this as a grappling hook? No, of course not. But I was just mucking around and thought, well, why not? Let's just do it. Let's make it cool. The other thing that was on here that, again, this little ugly piece of crap is at the end of the chain here. Bottle opener. So I put a bottle opener on this one as well. And being Australian, we love our beer, even though I personally don't drink it. Yeah, there you go. That's why it's on there. So yeah, we've got serrations, and the last piece is this thing, wire cutter. The M9 didn't actually make the last video, but if you've seen an M9, you'll see that it's got this piece, the blade attaches, and then you like a scissor action and through that little notch, and it cuts the wire. And so what I've done, when I got my blade cut out, I had this piece cut out as well as the other little bits that'll mount it up. We'll make the little stem at the top for the blade to hook on. And so I'm going to thermoform the scabbard for this, and it's going to have this mounted on the end of it, same as an M9. Hopefully it all works. I'll do a video on that regardless if it's a failure or a success. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. So I might just pull this one out, make a bit of room, throw this thing in here, and yeah, so I kept the 9-inch blade 2 inches wide. The only difference, well, the key, it's kind of, when I was sitting here designing this thing, I was like, well, what would a heart stopper look like if it was serrated? And we know Polforce have done, torch, that light just doesn't want to stay there tonight, has done a knife with serrations, but they still did the same recurve. And I really don't like recurve blades. I just don't know why. I just don't like them. So I went with a straight edge. This profile is actually, I'm about to do some hollow handled LS1s with stainless steel tubing and threaded construction. And this profile is actually that I modified. So I redrew the blade. This one is cool, but it's not quite right, and so I decided it needed a bit of extra work, and I completely redesigned this on this profile. You'll also notice that I didn't bevel the teeth. They're not beveled, and because they just cut better, so that's a fact. The ones you bevel them, they dig in so far and then they just bind up. They won't keep sawing. This the only way that you truly get a good saw is a full flat grind to the spine, and then you get the tops of the teeth are the widest part, and that's when they cut really, really good. The other thing you could do, I guess, is if it was possible to bend each tooth out in different angles, so through there and pull it out, if that makes sense, like a sort of like, I can't do it, my fingers are too fat. So it looks like that, right? That would actually rip really, really well. But this steel arrives hardened, and so I can't just do that, and I'm not going to anneal it, or it's got a handle on it now, so I can't anneal it anyway. I don't bother annealing my steel for that stuff. I just work with what I've got. When I had this profiled, I had it done with water jet. So we'll just clear some space out. And if you're not familiar with water jet, this is what a blank profile looks like after it's been cut out. So it's pretty impressive stuff, man. This is, as you can see, that little piece just slots up in there. It's like laser cutting, except it's done with water and an aggregate, and 60,000 psi apparently. So insane pressures, and it just erodes the steel. The same as what water would do down a creek bed or similar, except it's the cut is, I think, 1.5 millimeters. Laser, I think, is about 0.4. Laser obviously heats the steel. I need to keep this cold because of the heat treat's already done, and so I use water jet. And you'll see here the two are the bits for this. So that's the actual key piece which goes in there, and the spacer. So I get all that done in one go, and then I know it's all precise and everything works, or lines up and works. So I'll, I also said I'll do the scabbard tomorrow, and probably shoot another video then. But yeah, I just thought I would, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this piece. I haven't got a clue. It was supposed to be a screwdriver, and then I was looking at it thinking, well, is it going? It's too fat for such a small chip screwdriver. I don't know what I'll do with it yet. Might just round it off. But yeah, the handle, this is, I normally don't do these handles with the scallops. And when I did the straight cutout, which you can see better from the profile, it just felt too big. Like I really wanted to pull this lump here out and smooth it off. But after putting some plastic down and making it nice and thick, it actually fits good. Feels good too. Yeah, it's really happy with how that came out. So there it is. Bit of a WFT knife. Oops, sorry. WFT knife, but it's yeah, it's just something, having a bit of fun, doing a bit of creativity. Also, because I got criticised for making crane knives, and they were, oh, you should make something original. Well, here you go. This is original, man. You're not going to get anything more original than that. Just show you that I can do it. I just choose to make these because I like them. But you know, that's something unique. I'm looking forward to the stainless steel hollow handled versions when I get them done, and no doubt we'll be posting a video, probably video progress on how they work, the construction. I think it's pretty important to show that stuff, given how crap these were built and the bad reputation that they made, or they tarred and feathered all survival knives with. Even the, you know, those HGC or HCG knives with their threaded construction are right up there, you know. I mean, I don't know what the blade steel is, but you know, let's assume it's just 420. But if it's been heat treated properly, and from what I can see on the two that I've got, it has been. You know, those knives shouldn't break. Stainless steel tubing for the handles, threaded construction, it ain't breaking. Mine will be that on steroids, because I'm actually using 3mm wall thickness and M20 threads. So mine are going to be insane. So there it is, man. I'm going to wrap it up for now. As I said, I'll hopefully get the scabbard done tomorrow, and I might even get an edge on this thing. And we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.